How to anchor your WebAuth Proton wallet and back up your private secured keys using Anchor, Wallet, and Unicove. So, if you're wondering why this is an important video, it's basically you want to back up your private keys in case they get lost, suspended, or if XPR decides to fork and you'll be forced to migrate to the A chain, you want to still have access to the XPR Classic blockchain. And also you want to have your keys just in case your keys for some reason get blocked or frozen. This is a way to bypass that. So a very important video, and make sure to take note. And without further ado, let's just get straight into it. So what is Anchor Wallet? Anchor Wallet is the official EOS wallet developed by EOS developers. Now, if you're not familiar, Proton is a fork of EOS, like the blockchain. This was developed, like the EOS developers basically worked, basically are called WEBAUTH, or like it's a company based on the same developers. WEBAUTH is also linked with Fireblocks, so they make the secure blocks, etc. And they have a secure wallet with secure enclave technology for any EOS-based system. So that means Proton, Telos, Wax, and EOS. So you can see here that this is the symbol for the wallet, and I'll be discussing the riddles. The riddles actually make mention to this. So, as mentioned, the Anchor account is for the Antelope chains, also called the A chains. And you can see here that it securely creates an account. On the Antelope-based blockchain system, it keeps your private keys safe with the strongest encryption available. I believe there was basically minimal to no incidents in the last 5 to 7 years. Yeah, it's apparently all the elites are using this wallet, not necessarily WebAuth. And we'll explain the reasons later on as we go. So Unicove is like the extension software of Anchor, and it's got the symbol of the unicorn, which again will be relevant. So it's basically the associated web wallet software version of Anchor Wallet. So why should I bother backing up my private keys? Firstly, all the elites for some reason have their keys all on Anchor Wallet, so it's anchored. So remember the ship and the bearable guy? It has to be anchored. You have to hold fast to your assets, hold on to your crown lest you lose it. It prevents any issues with bad actors or large corporations switching off your private key permissions to access the Proton blockchain, example via WebAuth. In the case of a hard fork from Proton blockchain to A chain, some wallets like WebAuth may force your tokens to go with the migrated fork. So you no longer have XPR on the classic blockchain, you have it now on the A chain, which may render your tokens useless. Anchor Wallet uses secure Fireblocks, the most secure institutional form of security, and many years of demonstrated use case without major hacks. And lastly, if those technical reasons don't tickle your fancy, the riddlers actually tell us to anchor your wallet, and I'll describe more in detail. So this is just basically from the WEBAUTH Fireblocks website. You can see here that Fireblocks is SOC 2 compliant, gets regular testing, is all the certifications, etc. They do security for large hedge funds and market makers, etc., exchanges, banks. So it's enterprise grade. That's what should be noted. It's battle tested, has multi-layer security, and yeah. Over $4 trillion already secured to date. So the secure enclave and the blocks are quite secure. Now you can see here esoterically, the Riddler is actually wearing the anchor symbol. You can see here very clearly that is a 100% match. Even the color scheme matches. So the Riddlers are telling you to anchor your wallets. I'm going to repeat that again. The Riddlers are telling you to anchor your wallet. Hence, the sailor, the captain on the ship, you have to anchor your wallet, just like a ship anchors in. Interestingly, the Riddlers say that it's a strange game, and the only winning move is not to play. So you'll be soon given an option to migrate to A-Chain. And what the Riddlers are basically saying is the only winning move is not to play, is not to migrate, is to keep XPR Classic. Now, is it XPR Classic that's going to moon and become Proton, or is it the XPR that moves to A-Chain that's going to be Proton, that's going to moon? These Riddlers are saying that it's basically the earlier, in the sense that it's the XPR Classic, the one that's not forked, the one that's backed up and anchored, that's going to be the one that's going to moon. So you can see here Unicove actually has the same symbol as the unicorn. So unicorn, Unicove, and it's associated, like I said, with Grey Mass and the Anchor wallet. So how to now actually back up your keys? So you download the Anchor wallet from either Android or App Store. Either you can do it on your desktop as well, but you could just download the app on your phone. And I think with the desktop comes up with something similar to this, set up new wallet, etc. But for this tutorial, we'll be mainly focusing on the mobile application. So when you actually open it up, it's going to say add new account, and you're going to add new account. And then it's going to have automatically detect or existing account. Now what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to choose the last option, which is import an existing account with private key. So I'll repeat that. You download the app, you add account, and then you're going to go import an existing account with private key. For most people, this should be the last option. So this screenshot is not accurate, so ignore this. It should come up something like this, like import an existing account from a private key. So you're going to click that, and it's going to come up with something like this: import a private key. So what's your private key? It's a 51 character thing that you get from WEBAUTH, and then it's got two accounts here. It's got the active and the owner. So you're going to have from your WEBAUTH two accounts, the active and the owner, and you basically toggle those, but I'll show you what to do. So where to source the private key? So you go to your WEBAUTH, like so, and then you click on the rightmost right button. It should take you to this setup, and you choose security, and under security there's backup wallet. So you click on that, and then it basically, one of the options is to reveal your private key. So what you have to do is you have to type in this box, I will never give my private key to anyone else. So you physically have to type it in. And then once you physically type in that sentence, you click reveal private key, and then it should come up with a long string, and then you just copy that. Now that you have that, you go back here and you copy and paste it into here. And then you basically tick the accounts, so both of them, so active and the owner. So the owner one is the main one, and then active as well. And then you go import account. So you have to do that for each one. Usually each WEBAUTH is associated with two. So after that, you've now linked your you've backed up your private key of WEBAUTH and their accounts to Anchor. So now you can use Anchor Wallet Unicove wallet to sign any Proton or EOS blocks without using WebAuth, using only Anchor Wallet. So now you can unstake and stake. You could move XPR to whatever wallet you want and sign transactions without using WebAuth. Basically, this is very advantageous because now it gives you more flexibility. So note, your loan tokens will not show up because it's a proprietary closed source product only available on the Metallicus like governance website and stuff, like their I guess their DEX. So it's not going to show up. Only XPR tokens will show up, as Proton is an open sourced, in theory, decentralized blockchain. Metal tokens will not show up either because it's on its own blockchain. So you're only going to see XPR tokens, and you're only going to see the liquid ones, so the unstaked ones. But you could still, you can still access your like delegations and stakes for XPR and so on. You can unstake and stake manually through that. So what happens if you don't back up and you decide I'm just going to keep it on WebAuth? That's fine, but if they hard fork in the future, your XPR tokens will automatically migrate to the A chain as well. So you no longer have access to the decentralized Proton, you only have access now to the centralized one, because the A chain is basically validated with metal tokens, and there's a monopoly basically on those. If you get banned from WebAuth or your private key permissions are disabled, you will be locked out of your funds permanently until they are re-enabled. So just bearing in mind that we told you so. You'll only be able to stake and unstake or access the Proton XPR blockchain via WebAuth keys only. So remember, what happens if you don't back up? You'll only be able to stake or unstake or access the Proton blockchain via WebAuth only. So it's not something you want to do. Don't be this guy. I failed to back up my WebAuth keys. Now Elon Musk thinks I'm racist and suspended my XApp WebAuth permission keys. Now I'm a brokey. So take note. The best way to defeat the beast is to ride the beast, as I always say. So previously, if you want to kind of not escape the beast system, but if you want to have options to go to in case something happens with your WebAuth, Anchor is the way to do it. Now, previously people have said, oh, but you said WebAuth is the Ark. It is from a quantum, from a, I guess, just like an attack point of view, an attack vector point of view. But WebAuth, if you just have WebAuth and your XPR in there, it's not secured because you could still get banned from WebAuth themselves. Or, as I said, your tokens will automatically migrate to A-chain. And what if the Phoenix is actually the unmigrated version? Just like the riddlers say, the best move is no move. And that's the only way to win the game. What if it's the XPR Classic that Ripple are interested in? What if, as an example, Metallicus undergoes a Chapter 5 bankruptcy and you've moved your tokens to A-chain? That then gets liquidated because Metal is a proprietary product, an asset under Metallicus Incorporated. If those assets get liquidated and they file a Chapter 5 bankruptcy, you're screwed because your tokens have migrated with the bankruptcy. So it's always best to keep your tokens anchored, backed up, and remain on the XPR Classic and do not migrate. Well, it's up to you whether you want to migrate it or not, but it's, in my view, it's the risks outweigh the benefits, and it's better to have a completely decentralized blockchain rather than risking counterparty risk by migrating it to the A-chain. But who knows, maybe the A-chain XPR will be the Phoenix, maybe the Proton. But in my opinion, it's the unforked XPR that will turn into Proton. back to Proton, I should say. So otherwise, let me know in your comments below, do you think it's the forked or unforked XPR that will become the Phoenix? So without further ado, thanks again for joining, and have a good day.